But the fourth posture is one of sitting. And this is one that I think most of us really struggle with. This is a posture that most of us don't know how to do. Because sitting at the feet of Jesus is how we learn from him. Sitting at the feet of Jesus is where we hear his voice. And I remember being a little kid, I was raised by my great-grandparents. I remember being a little boy. My great-grandfather fought in World War II. He was an Army guy. And listen to him tell stories about being in the war. And I would sit at his feet just like this, and I would look up at him just in such awe because he's telling me these stories. He's like, and the planes are flying over, and they're shooting, and that's the noise he would make when he would shoot. And he's telling these stories. And it was the only way for a 4-year-old little boy to relate to a 72-year-old man. Because there was a difference in wisdom, there was a difference in authority, there was a difference in perspective that I was not able to grasp any other way than sitting at his feet. And so my question for you as a Christian is, when was the last time you sat at the feet of Jesus? When was the last time you sat at his feet and listened to him? When was the last time that you clearly heard his voice? And I think if we're honest with ourselves, most of us would say, Jay, I don't do that very often. Some of us would even say, Jay, I don't think I've ever done that. I wouldn't know what Jesus' voice sounded like if he called me on the phone right now. And I think the reason that we struggle with hearing his voice and that we struggle with knowing his voice and that we struggle with sitting at his feet is because we're so distracted. There is so much noise in our lives. There's so much noise around us and we're distracted and we can't clearly hear his voice anymore. And so we got to figure out a way to get rid of the distraction. We got to get rid of the noise.